Greetings, Detective.
Detective!
The World of Warcraft 20th anniversary celebration offers a questline which not only lets us celebrate Warcraft's history, it's also part of a much bigger mystery involving the Green Felbike, also known as Incognitro, the Indecipherable Felcycle. At this time, the Secret Finding Discord is still hard at work trying to figure out how we unlock the bike, so I'll link a guide in the description down below if you want to check it out. For the record, you don't have to do all the things we're going to be talking about today. You could also focus on the crates and earn yourself the detective title. But for the sake of the lore, for the sake of the video, we're going to go through the storylines. It all starts with poor Alyx, our event coordinator who's desperately trying to keep it all together. But there are so many requests, so many jobs that need to be done. An extra pair of hands is more than welcome. And that's where we come in. Maru, Junior's secret sleuth, and his brother Enzo are missing their sleuthing thingy and need our help tracking it down. But we can always ask them for hints when we need them. There's also the idol of Onara that points us towards the clues around the fair. A bit of red hair, a flyer for checking out the historic tales at the Storyteller stage. Put two and two together and the red-haired Volpera Rats, former event coordinator, who's listening to Joe's stories, they become awfully suspicious. Yeah, they had it, but we'll never find it in this mess of an event. By now, it could be anywhere, from the fashion frenzy to the, well, it's gone now. Got it? We find what's been missing over at the Fashions Frenzy area. The Torch of Perif, also known as the Stick of Revealing. It will flare up when treasure or things of importance are nearby, as the boys let us try it out in the ruins of Tanris by tracking down a fragment of an ancient statue, which is actually a rock, some cool guts, which only a kid would consider some treasure, but there's also an actual golden chalice and a jeweled eye, which
belongs in a museum.
The final bit has us learn about how to use the tricked out thinking cap. This one gives us coordinates from the point where we are standing when we use the hat, and we need to follow the list to track down 3 locations, find the materials hidden by Benotok, so that they can make a thinking cap for Maru. That's the tutorial done. Onwards to the real detective work. The one and only Attleton Jones has been working a missing person case, but not checked back in with Alyx. We ask him what's up, and there's no need to worry. He already solved the case. Probably this individual, this haircrop, just got lost. Relax, enjoy the festivities. Our missing guest will show up soon enough. But we're not entirely convinced. Maru recommends to use the idol to find some witnesses, which points us towards Team Solid, who've been hard at work at fighting demons on the Broken Isles. They know Herkrop and knows that he loves a drink by the sea. An abandoned chair on the South Beach has a message about how the sun is better on the other side, so we check out the Northern Beach. The good sunbathing spots attracted others, like the legendary fisherman Ned Pagel. There's Julia Hennings, there's Scrapes, and there's Haircrop. Now no longer missing, except he is kinda dead, you know. Our missing case is now a murder investigation. Nobody gets to leave until we get the bottom of this. The corpse has been defiled. Several bones and organs are missing. Not a random kill, but a harvest. Who could it have been? Well, it's not a hard case to crack. Julia had witnessed Scrapes making quite a bit of noise behind the tents, and even has found the murder weapon, a bloody knife in the sand. We have a witness, we have a location, we have the murder weapon itself. There's nothing suspicious about her having all of this readily available. The murderer is Forsaken after all, a Forsaken trying to catch some sunshine. We don't need to know more, and with a murder accusation thrown their way, Scrapes quickly escapes. Attleton is ready to give up. Call it a cold case. But the good detective doesn't know how cold we're going to make it. Rexar, champion of the Horde, is on the prowl for Scrapes and won't just take anyone with him on the case. We need to show that we can track down our targets by tracking down our ride into Northrend, a small goblin vessel that blasts us all the way into the frozen sea. The cold lands of Northrend, with its cold air smothering Scrape's scent, so we need to find some clues again. Torn pages from his diary. Dreading to return to the humidity, but I have to go somewhere safe. I probably shouldn't keep writing this diary, but I find it therapeutic. I know, I'll shred it when I'm done, so no one can find me. At least the crystals are pretty up on that nearby plateau. And purple is my favorite color. One humid area nearby, there will be Xal'atath Basin, where they do have purple crystals upon glimmering pillars. A telescope is aimed at Balagard Fortress in Icecrown, where we finally track down Scrapes, but looks like someone got to him before us. The residue of illusion magic makes it clear there's a shapeshifter in our midst, the most dangerous of foes, as they could be anyone. They could be Jaina, they could be me, they could even be Detective Extraordinaire Attleton Jones. But who's the real one? Well, we could deduce what they've been doing throughout the day, interview who they said they've met with, and figure out that their behavior does not line up with the ego that we've seen so far. Or we just follow our guts, pick the one that met with Hammett, as that's a more well-known character, which actually does work. The deceit is revealed. Jilya Zenin, Satyr of the Broken Isles, lost many of their allies that seemed solid, so they pretended to be Julia, pinned the murder on poor Scrapes. They're not gonna get away with this, not when their hoofprints can be followed.
Let me show you what happens to heroes.
Chapter 1 is done. The day is saved, but more mysteries await to be solved. Not all of them are life or death, though. Chapter 2 is all about some stolen toys, following clues to uncover where Yenu's ball went. And if you're Alliance, you're then asked to find a ball of yarn for Kenshi, while on the Horde, you're on the case to find a plush toy for Nuts the Squirrel. Someone has it out for other people's possessions. We follow the clues found. We deduce how to trap our sneaky thief. Putting out a chew toy is too much temptation for the Bakar pup to ignore, leading us to their cave, where there's a huge pile of stolen toys. But we only take back what was taken from Maru.
You're a bad dog. You are. You're a bad dog.
Chapter 3 is to get the Booty Bay Buccaneers back sailing with some good food, as they lost their cook Bartholomew, to the sea. They don't dare to set sail again without their lucky feast that old Cook Bartholomew will prepare for them before each voyage. Now, Cook Bartholomew, the good cook, only brought copies of the recipe on board, which means that the original book must be somewhere back in Booty Bay. Mrs. Gant took all of the cooking folks under her wing to make sure they stayed out of trouble, and it's at her place where we find the book, but the handwritten notes don't make any sense. It talks about mirror piece of shadow leaf again and again, Daffy juice berries, like divers ghost breath, Mauser brine like royals again, and again, J-Pop's full. Scowling Rosa used to talk with Bartholomew about the books and words and languages. If anyone is gonna make heads or tails out of this, it would be her. She comes back the next day with a list of ingredients that do make sense, something that we can gather. One last final secret ingredient is then tracked down in Northrend. And with that, the Booty Bay Buccaneers can make their feast and set sail once more. And better yet, one more thing off the list to worry about for our poor Alyx, whose title is getting longer and longer by the day. Chapter 4, the final one for this part, begins with some good old treasure hunting in Tanaris, followed by fixing Chromie's mess. Again, she's been fiddling with the timeways, and now some copies that do not belong, they walk the celebration area. Lowwalker Cho, Rashad, Big Canuck, Maru, and Geppetto Joybus. They need to be sent back to their own timeways. Then we're asked to hand out some letters. Strangely enough, not a whole lot of detective work is required, as for this one, the NPCs required light up. Then they ask us to pick up a lucky feast, which is the same feast that we got the recipe for the Buccaneers. It's almost like they needed us to be out of the way for a little while, so that they could organize a big old surprise party. Not just for us, also for Alyx, as a thank you for all the hard work. I saved the party, and all I got were these lousy hats. Little bit of transmog added to the collection, but of course, the fun of uncovering these secrets, that's the real prize. And the fun doesn't stop here. There's still plenty of cases waiting to be solved.
I guess I can, if you want.
Some of them are minor references to things that happened over the years, where some have a bit more story. Let's go over them, starting with the case of misfortune. Alphonse Constant has dropped the Darkmoon Fair cards all over the place, which we find and bring back to them. Now to read our daily fortune, and I imagine that this is referencing the collecting of the Darkmoon Fair cards to craft our trinkets.
See you later.
The case of the good book. Rainia Fizzlebog is related to Eddie Fizzlebog, and Eddie, they're Hammett's nesting where he's Ghost Rider. Although we've helped her become a proper hunter in her own right, even having her join the Unseen Path, the Hunter Order Hall back in Legion. Rhaenyra desperately wants Hammett to sign her copy of the Green Hills of Stranglethorn, but per usual, the book is destroyed. Pages are scattered all around, and they need us to find the pages, fix her book. Now we could do that, like we've been doing since the days of Classic. Or we can embrace the skip and pick up a counterfeit copy from Kravitz Lorenz, the shady book dealer.
I have exactly what you need.
The Case of the Pet Games. Geppetto Joybus, gnomish toy maker, needs help with completing a bingo challenge offered by the Grandmaster Pet Tamers from Pandaria. The first pet is a jumping spider found in the Jade Forests. The second is a summit kit in Kunlai Summits. Now, I couldn't really come up with a connection or reference to the past, besides that Mr. Pandaria was the expansion in which they added pet battles. Maybe you have a better idea.
Alrighty then.
The Case of Stage Disaster. Deb Perdue in Ardenweald has been working hard on a brand new play, but some kind of trickster thought it was funny to make a mess of the place. The scripts and various stage props have gone missing, but the show must go on. We must find what's been hidden, so that more plays can be performed. One of the highlights of the expansion Shadowlands were those that joined the Night Fae Covenant. They gave a bit of a catch-up to the spirits of Ardenweald, to the Green Dragon Ysera, showing them what had happened on our world. A bit of a catch-up on the story so far. For those that asked, as they have seen Kyrians join the celebration back on Azeroth, lore-wise, I do believe that crossing into the Shadowlands, it should be a lot more difficult, but not impossible. Even before the veil was shattered, a Draka or the Kyrian, they would travel to the mortal plane. Not to mention that we are, and forever will be, the super-duper special
Malwalker.
The Case of a Feathered Friend. Rashad has made the trip from alternate Draenor to join our celebration. The lover of stories stands close to the stage where Lorewalker Cho performs. His companion Percy is the one with a tale to tell today, but to learn it, we must track down his feathers as they give clues where to find the next one. Ultimately telling a tale of Percy traveling across alternate Draenor, his journey starting in Frostfire Ridge, going into Nagrand, Talador, and ending in the spires of Arak.
Let me tell you a story.
The Case of the Missing Mementos. Alyx is still very much overwhelmed. Who can blame her? Just look at the tidal grow. A group of folks were here a little while ago, all complaining, or she means submitting lost item notices with great passion, but all at the same time. She tried to take down all the details, but the stress of the moment has jumbled it all up. Time for us to help out and figure out to whom these found items belong. A potion bottle is an easy choice. This one will go to Marin Noggenfogger, producer of the well-known Noggenfogger elixir. That highly coveted potion back in Classic to turn you into a skeleton or give you slow fall. It made the Goblin super rich. He is now head of the Steam Beater Cartel, Baron of Gadgeson. Just don't ask him about his operations with the Uncrowned, the Rogue Order Hall back in Legion. The Jade Amulet belongs to John J. Cashon, as Cashon is Warcraft's take on Rambo. Now, if you've never done his questline in Redridge before, would highly recommend to check it out, as it's one of the better ones in the game. In the Rambo movie series, this necklace is passed to Rambo after Ko's death, which is the original owner, and then Rambo passes on to Hamid when Rambo decides to move on with his life and stop the killing. Or at least, according to the Rambo Wikipedia. The crude ivory locket is made out of quillboar tusks, linking it to Menkrick, who lost his wife Orgra to the tusk beasts. One of the most well-known quests from Classic, as finding Orgra's body was not that easy, so a lot would ask, where's Menkrick's wife? But Classic is a long time ago. Menkrick has honored his beloved, and while she'll always be with him, he did find a new mate, called Maka, while Orgra herself is still kicking ass, even in the Shadowlands, as Decimator Orgra. The screams aren't as satisfying as the Quillboar, but they will do. The tiny mechanical mouse belongs to Oglethorpe Obnoxious, or Obnoticus. Remember all those super annoying escort quests where you had to guide a robot chicken back to a location so it could go safely home? Yeah, you can thank our friend Oglethorpe for those, and even at the party, he can't stop talking about his chickens. Bit of a sad story though. He was banished from Nomedagon because Sicko Thermoplug stole his blueprints and created the Crowd Pummeler 960, which was then set loose upon the poor gnomes inside. Oglethorpe was blamed for this, But that's not the story he'll tell adventurers. Nah. He'd rather stick to his version of the truth, which is that he was ostracized by the rulers of Nomenagon because they considered him an intellectual threat. With an army of mechanical chickens and one returned mechanical mouse. I guess he's now expanding. Which leaves the well-worn almanac to be brought back to Farmer Yoon, as is his grandfather's journal. Yoon was a business partner back in Pandaria, and together we set up quite a nice little farm.
Next one is on me.
3 cases remain, starting with the case of an old soul. We met Scroll Sage Nola during Battle for Azeroth, and while the friendly and kind Tortolan was a great ally for some of our quests, she was mainly embraced by the community for her lines during the world quests.
A turtle made it to the water.
Marion Stroessner. Sorry, that is a very Dutch way of pronouncing that name. Apparently it's pronounced Marianne Stroessner. Adored voicing Nola, and was very happy with how much people enjoyed the character. She even made an appearance on stage during BlizzCon 2018.
Let's do these 2, Marianne, right here, the last 2.
The cycle of life can be cruel. A turtle made it to the water.
But sadly passed away in April of 2023. Now we get to honor one last time by reading out her last wishes at the underwater Tortolan wedding. This is so wonderful to see. These young lovers will be our future. Lushk sent me to see your final wishes met. Lushk is delightful. And thank you for calling my spirit here. I think I'm ready to rest now. Please tell Lushk that this old Tortolan has made it to the water.
It's so nice to see you, dearie.
The case of great aspirations is a bit more lighthearted. We all know Deathwing, right? Corrupted, powerful, death incarnate, and caused quite a bit of devastation to the world, but he's not the bad guy in everyone's minds. To Voidfire, he's something of an inspiration, so we need to fly them around the world, show them that becoming Deathwing is a really bad idea. No matter how much Deathwing's actions excite them, there's always a bad side to it. Fire and volcanic destruction leaves nothing but a dark and barren area. The scars left behind by Deathwing won't heal and will always serve as a reminder of his wrath and devastation. Even if you have followers, they won't always do what you want. Other cults are also bound to form that will follow their own rules. And flooding things, it also just brings death and destruction. After enough showing around, Voidfire concurs. Becoming Deathwing is not so cool after all. They'll be more like Nosdormu instead. He is cool and he has time travel stuff. Now nobody tell him about Murderous, yeah?
I have witnessed the true end time.
Our final case today, the case of the Fur-Getting Wicked, reveals that the power couple of Rico and Kieran, they're still going strong. The hoes and the undead met each other during their adventures in Pandaria, where Rico saved Kieran from the ambushing Jinyu and the Alliance forces.
When I done fighting, went up to Kieran to ask for my reward.
Rico, you saved my life.
So, can Rico get kiss?
Of course. Let me just take off my mask.
What the ook is wrong with your face? You chicken dead?
But there was only the shock in the moment. Rico would not stay away for very long.
I'm back, you dukers! I unweigh, Kieran, and I don't care about your weird dead face!
Rico.
Come on, Kieran. Let's get the ook out of here.
And apparently, they've been together for over 10 years now, so obviously it's time to start a little family. Now children might be a bit problematic, so how about a lovely cute little pet? Something cuddly but also able to stand being around the undead. Let's put our detective skills to good use and become proper grave robbers.
I did find a friendly raccoon who began to follow me. I decided to name him Gizmo. Hey there, little buddy. I'm gonna name you Gizmo. No! Gizmo! Amber, why? I didn't even shine my damn light! Shortly afterwards, another raccoon befriended me. I named him Socks and quickly moved on.
The Alliance version of this questline back in the day, they had Sully meet the raccoon Gizmo. They became close friends real quick, until Gizmo died a horrible death. Time for Gizmo's peaceful slumber to end, and return from the grave to fill the hole that's been growing in Rico's relationship. Sully is actually overjoyed seeing his pal Gizmo again. That is, until he realizes he's now an undead. The stench is awful. Not even Rico can love poor Gizmo, who never did anything wrong. We get to borrow Gizmo the Pure for our adventures and get that smell far away from him, but we do have to bring him back before Kira notices that he's gone. So, yeah, that was most definitely a questline that happened. And now Gizmo the Pure can join us on our adventures through Azeroth. All in all, I really enjoyed grabbing these detective achievements and the storylines attached. Don't get me wrong, I'd never be clever enough to solve any of them, but that's alright. Plenty of guides that are linked down below if you want to do them as well. And once you've collected the detective title, you'll be able to join the hunt to get the green fell bike. Mind you, that doesn't have to happen with these storylines. You could also go for the missing crates, as only 2 of the 4 criteria are needed for the title. Now when done, a whole mystery will open up in Karazhan, a mystery that, at the time of writing, is still being solved. So far, some of the crazier things that had to be done to unlock it that involve fighting with 3 of the previously gathered secret pets to earn a muffin, or how about counting rats that spawn to deduce which platforms need to be activated, or click on owl statues in such a way that the entire platform becomes owl statue free. The unlock of this bike has been an insane journey to witness, and I, every single time, scratch my head and wonder, like, how do people figure this out? How are people so smart? But it's fun. It's honestly so much fun to even try a little bit to help them out with this. I can't wait for the full guide to be out, and I can't wait to see all these bikes on Azeroth. But yeah, for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!